guys, my name is Tico from Invictus Barber Academy, and my goal here is to create and provide a variety of contents that will help you as a barber to elevate your skills as a barber, because nowadays, you know, in the modern barber, we need to stand out by being the best and extract the best in ourselves. The thing is, remember when I said this channel function like a school? This is a free education from Invictus Barber Academy, from me, Tico, to you guys, brothers and sisters from our industry, from our barber industry. In this channel, I will be posting different haircuts and styles that will help you to understand those many ways to work and many ways how to fade. So every video that I post, I will be posting a different way how I fade hair. Sometimes I will be posting a fade without putting any graduation line, and sometimes you're gonna see me putting hard lines, graduation lines, 1, 2, 3, and sometimes you're gonna see me fading up, blending down, or just like blending all the way down to 0. And I will be working with the different haircuts, different types of hair, different texture of hair, long, short, trending style. So watch this video. What I recommend to you is watch this video and adapt to yourself what is more comfortable for you in work. So hope you guys like. And one recommended too, get a mannequin head and just follow the steps. Come with me and let's start. So let's start, guys. What I do, I get this hair wet a little bit. Most of the time I shampoo the hair, but when he came, he had his hair shampooed and washed before coming here, so he doesn't need shampoo. I'm just getting wet. The reason why I'm doing this is because now I'm going to do one separate of panel. I'm gonna do a horseshoe separation of panel here. It's going to help me. I want to start from the crown. I have a cowlick here, and I just going to follow the natural growth pattern, the natural way the hair grows. And this is nothing else than just separate the hair and take the hair away from the area that I'm going to be working. A horseshoe separation of panel. So I can start working on the sides. He has a previous base here already, as you guys can see it. So I'm gonna stay lower than that. What I'm going to do is just blow dry. I don't need to even, because I put my base here because I have nothing to grab. I'm gonna dry first before I start debow. So now let's start blow dry. So I prefer to cut this hair dry. Let me dry this first. I blow dry the hair forward, since the hair is going to be styled forward. As you can see, the base here is forward too. So this is the natural way that the hair is going to stay. I'm going to start debulking with our number 2 closed, just to clean, but I don't even need to do that because the hair is too short, but just to make sure. In this channel, you're going to see a different way in how I fade hair. Guys, what I'm gonna do here, I'm going to put my first graduation line. What I'm gonna do is using 0 close, a finger width on the sides and 2 finger width in the back, but it's gonna come in a triangle shape. And below the 0, I'm gonna use trimmer and the shaver, and this part, the number the first graduation and lower is going to be done already. So since now I want very dark, C cup here, the outline here, I want a very dark. What I'm gonna do, I'm going to use my zero in angle like this, forward. I'm gonna go around the head. Into a triangle shape. Towards the nape. Very smooth, you don't have to press the clipper. Remove all the hair, all the remaining hair first. Still zero closed. I finished this side and I finished the other side the same. There's a V here, and the V beak, it's right on the center of the neck. The same thing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the remaining hair before I use my shaver. But if you come close and notice that I'm not going too high with my trimmers anymore. So I remove everything from here and get very close, but I don't go over my number 0 because I don't want to create another hard line there. So now I'm going to use my shaver to remain and go down to the skin around the head. And this from the first graduation line down, what I call it blending down from 2 to this line, and I'm going to fade up to the 0. So now I'm going to use my shaver. As you can see, I'm going to go very smooth, and at the same time I'm going to not touch the 0, and I will just connect with the trimmers. Very close with the ears. Very smooth. Imagine now here I have a invisible line where the trimmer stopped, and I have to kind of just blend it in using like a C motion, or just tap it down so I don't create another line. Guys, let me break it down, let me explain what I did here already. So I debulk with the 2 close, but I use my senior because my senior has more like a close gap with the 0, like it cuts closer, and most of the time I use my senior to debulk, and then I use it to fade it. I use my magic clip because it's lighter and don't hurt my shoulders. I'm gonna be more rested towards the end of the day. So now I already did my first graduation line, 0 and below, 0 trim and shaver, and now I'm going to mark here in the temple area the outline. I'm gonna go just to make sure this line will be very pronounced. I'm gonna go deep a little, and then I will connect from here. You guys can see it there. Let me see. Yeah. I'm going to connect my line with the first one I did on the top. I'm going to use my magic clip now. Since I put it in, I debulk with number 2. I'm going to use my 1.5. I'm going to start blending down all the way until this line disappears without putting any other harsh lines or graduation lines. Check this out. I start open with my 1.5, and I kind of just kiss and tap the number 2. I'm going to work in 2 panels here so you guys can see it. So it'll be the same thing on the other side, and I don't have to show you both sides because it will be exactly the same. But what I do is I go from this line all the way to number 2 and smoothly using a C motion. As you can see, I tap the number 2 over there and I slightly using my C motion. When I say C is because I put my guard flat against the head, and when it gets closer to where I want to stop and come out with my clippers, with my guard, I do this motion slightly. It's not too much like this, otherwise I'm going to maintain a lots of weight here. But what I do is, it's almost straight, but slightly doing this C motion. Number 1 right now, and I'll start with my number 1 open, with the lever all the way open. Like I said, I'm not putting any graduation line anymore. I'm just blending down all the way so this line disappears. So I start like open, and now I'm going to tap my 1.5 closed. You have to go all the way up using this motion, guys, all the way to the previous guard. Otherwise, you're going to see a drastically transition from the white to the dark right away. If you want to see a beautiful transition, you need to go high and touch the previous guard. So 1 open, 1 open, touching my 1.5 closed. And to maintain my V, I work in angle, and then I work in angle this way backwards, so I maintain my V shape, and I cross both of them. So now I'm going to use my half guard, and I always start with my guards open, so that way I don't mark another line. So even if you start in this industry, if you're a beginner, if you're just starting, just graduate barbering school, always start with the guard open. That's very more comfortable and prevent any mistakes. So open all the way the lever. Mari, you learning anything?
Yeah, I learned.
My half guard open. Don't worry about this line, because this line will be blend. I can use another guard, higher guard, I will show you, or with the scissors. I might do with the scissors so I can show you guys to maintain, because once you use clipper, the clipper just remove that length and that's it. With the scissors, you can control how much you're taking, okay? So now, still half open, now halfway closed. Halfway closed. So halfway closed. Pay attention, guys, for floss. There's a lot of floss behind the ears. Those spots that is darker than the others around the head. It's not because you can use the same guard and then you're gonna see some dark spot. What that means is that that spot, it has more dimension, or you have more density, you have more hair in that spot. But even if they have a little flaw, like a little dip, a hole here, it's gonna look darker. All you can do now is stretch the fade a little bit more, higher in those areas. And at the end, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do point cutting, or we're gonna cut with the corners of our blade, or with our zero open. We're gonna pick and we're gonna make that disappear. There's many ways you can do that. Even with the thinning shears, the blending shears, you can do that too as well. So now guys, you see it's almost, the line is blended. This line right here, my first graduation line, I'm gonna start with a 0 open, and I'm gonna adjusting the level the way I'm going. If I see whatever I need to blend, I'm going to adjust my lever, okay? 0 open first. It seems like it's not cutting anything, but it is, making the way cleaner for me. So 0 now halfway closed. I open a little bit, so because I want to go high and pick some dark spots. And I'm working 0 close now. You guys can see the line is almost disappearing, disappearing. Very calm, relaxed, and you pick in the areas. I still see some lines, but that line I can finish with my trimmers. I will show you in a bit. So now I'm using my 0 all the way close. As you can see, I didn't use a tons of graduation line, harsh line, those lines that is very hard to blend it. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. So now guys, even if you can't see from there, I see from here in real life, I can see some spots that I can remove with my trimmers. I'm gonna use my trimmer upside down. It's just because the blade on the bottom, it cuts closer than the blade that is stagnant. The blade that is stuck here, it doesn't move, of course, and this is closer to the skin, and I can cut shorter. And I'm pushing this line. It seems that I'm pushing the line higher, but it's just a remaining hair where the connection with the 0 and the trimmers. Almost nothing. Only reason I'm using my shear is because now I can control how much I'm taking off, because sometimes with our clipper, you just go there and buzzer everything down, and you remove the weight that I want to leave there and continue to have that. So I can start doing point cutting. I have my comb, and the most of combs that we're gonna be working with. We have the 2 sides, right? We have this side that is a little wider, and this is the teeth is a little closer. It's just because this is fine, it's very thin. It can get closer to the skin, and this is a little wider too. So I use this part, the barbering comb part, to cut lower on the line where the fade is very low. And then higher, I'm using this side, but I'm going to pick the hair and pull my comb out because I want to maintain that darkness right there. So now guys, the sides are almost done. As you can see, my blending shears did refine what it needs to be refined. And while I'm cutting with shears, I constantly groom the hair in the direction the hair will stay naturally. So now I'm going to cut the top and finish the style and finish it with a straight razor. So now guys, what I'm going to do, actually I don't need these clips. I'm going to cut the top, but he wants the hair grow. I'm not gonna cut much. It's just to show you guys how I would cut his hair. to be fast, convenient, and easy way, what I'm going to do, use multiple ways, but this is the most convenient way, okay? This is a classic style. You groom everything forward, pick the fringe, cut the center all the way through the crown. Almost faking here because he doesn't cut nothing. So now since I'm cutting the center, and that center will be my guide, the center will be my guide to cut this side and this side. So simple, groom everything forward. Now my guide will be in the center and I connect the rest. This is the simplest way to cut in a classic way of hair cutting. So this, let's take a triangle section here. The reason why, because I want this disconnected. I need my clips. Actually, I don't need my clips because the hair is very damp and I can connect them if I want. The fringe will be disconnected. I'll take a little bit more here and I will connect everything else with diagonal forward. But since you guys can see there's nothing there, from here it's much better. Diagonal forward. Nothing here. My last piece, just a little bit. So I'm not touching the fringe, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm gonna slice his hair a little. This will create more movement. You don't close the shears all the way down because otherwise you're going to make a hole in his head. Slicing the hair. So now it's time for blow drying style and give some life to this piece of art. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use a little bit of sea salt spray. Start blowing dry the crown, then the sides, and then I'm gonna move to the top and maintain his cropped, very natural. To finish my style, giving life to my haircut, my style, my shape. A volume powder. I'm gonna add some more texture and volume here. I only apply where I want to create a more volume. Using a clipper or the shears, it's a combination of all tools plus creativity, imagination. So guys, let me break it down this for you, what I have done here today. First of all, I did a separation of panel. My panel was a horseshoe panel, moving everything here, clip it, because I don't want anything interrupting me and bother me during my haircut. What I did is I blow dry everything down, make sure the hair is very dry, 100% dry, and I start debulking with number 2 closed. And after that, I mark my first graduation line, which this one I called 0 and below, 0 trimmer, everything below 0, that is trimmer and shaver mark. And then I start blending everything down from 2 to the 0. So I did 1.5 open, intermediate and close. The same thing I did with number 1, same thing I did with the half. And then all the way comes down till the line disappeared. At the end, I use my shears to blend the line that was higher here in the transition area between clip and scissors, where the hair was long, where you would see the darker line. So then I use point cutting technique. As you can see here, is nice and blend, nice and clean. And then I use a little bit of my blending shears to finish the last touch. To finish and style his hair, I used a sea salt spray. Make sure we're gonna keep those curls, we're gonna keep those wavy hair, keep volume, as you can see. And then I use a little bit of paste, a natural, they will give a natural look. And after that, a little bit of powder, and that powder has a little bit hold and add all the texture that you see in it. Hope you guys like it. And in this channel, you're going to see different ways of how I fade, you know, different ways in how I approach the hair. And I hope you guys like it, and I see you guys next time. Don't forget to share, comment below what you want to see next, and subscribe, because this is a channel that functions like a school, and if you subscribe, you're going to be receiving videos as a class. So we all learn together. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters from our beauty industry. I hope you guys like. See you guys next class.